Hi, and welcome. This is Bridget Kimsey, Gentle Yoga, take 2. And I hope today is finding you well, morning, afternoon, or evening. Again, I can be found on my website or authors page if you have questions. This is an hour-long class, and definitely feel free to modify for what's best for you. And just enjoying yourself, and I wish you the best. And let's get on our mat. All right, we're going to start laying down. Hi there. So just coming on back, getting comfortable. And why not start with just letting the legs and the arms be heavy. Take a nice breath in, full breath out. Really landing on your mat, on the earth, in your body. Inhaling. Exhale. Let's squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. Squeeze hands. Let it go. Inhale, squeeze again. Shoulders, hands, and let it go. How about scrunch up the face like a little prune? And let it go. Scrunch up the face like a little prune. And let it go. Wherever your head or hair happens to be, just taking your fingers, massaging the scalp, along the back of the head, around the ears. Maybe along the earlobes, along the jawline, underneath the neck, upper shoulders, and then bringing the hands to the heart. Exhale. Good, bringing your arms open, maybe puffing the chest up to the sky and letting it go. Puffing the chest up to the sky and letting it go. Good. Maybe crisscross over the belly. Little bit of squeeze with the belly and let it soften. Crisscross the other way. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. And let it go. The glute butt muscles, squeeze the buttocks. Let it go. Squeeze. And let it go. Wiggle the hips a little side to side. If it is comfortable and appropriate for you, in your lower back and your sacroiliac joint, you could take the left hip, slide it a little higher, and then let it release. Take the right hip, slide it up a little higher, and then let it go. Wiggle a little bit. Coming into the left leg. So maybe flexing the foot, engaging, but just keep it where it feels comfortable. Tension, but not to pain. Let it go. Again, sticking with that left leg into tension not pain, let it go. Going to the other side, that right leg squeeze and let it go. And one side may feel a little different than the other. Squeeze and let it go. I often will go with the side that is not as most flexible, the area that is not as most strong, that other side staying within that. So you don't want to overdo in just a general yoga class. Going back and forth. Wiggling my hips, I should say. Come to pause, flexing and pointing the feet a few times. So you're walking your feet, you're walking your legs hip width apart, and then I have my heels in the ground and I just give a little bit of pulse. If you can see that with my feet, just very gentle. Just letting things, little gentleness flowing up. Letting that soften, and then just circling the feet. Good, and then let that all be heavy again. Exhale, landing. Here we are. Bring the hands behind the head, interlace fingers. Oh my goodness. Hopefully that feels nice to you. If not, make adjustments. Letting the weight of the world, the weight of anything, flowing off of you. If it works for you, bring the elbows up high and you're taking those shoulder blades, wrapping around, letting the head and neck be heavy, turning the head to look to the left, supported by the arms. Look over to the other side, still supported by the arms. Coming back to center, and then coming all the way down. That was a good feeling to massage through the scalp, maybe a bit more. And then hands on the head, thumbs between the eyebrows, hands together, thumbs at the heart. Coming over the belly, over the hips, and bringing one leg in, and then bringing the other leg in. We're going to exhale, squeeze all the air out. Inhale, open. Focus on that exhale. All the air out. Inhale, open. Exhale. More exhale if you can. And more. Good. And then just circling around. Massaging the lower back. Going the other way, massaging the lower back. If it works for you, keeping the legs in, and just go ahead and think of the heart lifting up. I like to think of my heart going to the belly button. Coming all the way down, you are circling the legs away from each other. So using your arms, allowing the legs to just go along for the ride, nice and heavy. Good, pausing here, circling the feet. And then maybe just shaking the legs, shaking the arms. And we're just gonna come, if you're up for it, happy baby, flex the feet, open the legs, and now you can hold on to the calves or the shins. Keep the shoulder blades sinking into the earth, shoulders into the earth, hips opening. Inhale, come back out of it a little bit, shaking, just seeing how that feels. And here we go again a second time. If you feel this is comfortable, notice how your back body, the shoulders, the ribs, through the back, sinking into the earth, maybe holding on to the outside edges of the feet. But again, if you're better with where that is on the calves and shins, staying there. Rock a little side to side maybe. Again, you could make this smaller. Could make this larger. Letting the whole body come along. Visiting each side twice. And then coming back. We're going to go ahead. You could bring the soles of the feet together. That is not a comfortable feeling, just bringing the knees into the chest. And then we're all coming back, hugging the legs in, holding on to one wrist. Inhale, exhale. A nice massage for the belly. Breathing in, and then exhale, still allowing the legs to keep sinking in. Let the legs roll on over to your left. As you are comfortable, opening up into a twist. Many variations here. You can untuck this a bit. You could have support underneath that right shoulder or arm. But once you're in a position that feels comfortable, feel free to drift. Check how the feet are doing. The legs, the upper body. We are coming back to center. One leg, second leg, maybe circle around. Once again, squeeze the legs in, hold on to the other wrist. Exhale. Inhale here. And as you exhale, falling in a little more deeply. Inhale when you feel the impulse. And we're going to the other side. So I'm rolling over to my right. Deciding what to focus on. Is it the knees stacking on top knees? Is it letting it be a little bit more open? How does the shoulder feel? Finding a position that works for you. And if thoughts come in, you could see them, pay attention, and maybe let them float by like clouds in the sky. They will be there afterwards. But giving the brain and the body and being time to rest. And coming back to center. closing the eyes. Full inhale. Full exhale. Let's plant the feet. So bringing the feet, the legs hip width apart, and just get into the feet. Just tapping if you can see one foot, other foot, one foot, other foot. Bring the arms overhead. You could walk the legs a little closer in towards your buttocks. You are going to lift the hips up. And then on a full exhale, we're just coming down, using the weight of the legs, the weight of the arms, to help sink through the back, all the way through the pelvis. Palms open, take a breath. Exhale, palms come down. Inhale, drawing the hips up, arms up. Feel where your feet are, sinking into your mat, allowing your shoulders to open. Exhale. If I am taking too long, you could increase your breath count. You could go faster or maybe even slower than me and rolling down vertebra by vertebrae all the way. Inhale, palms open. Exhale, palms down. One more time. Inhale. Arms, hips. Feel the inner thighs engage, pressing through the feet. Enjoying the breath, the motion. Exhaling down through the upper body, the ribs falling in, all the way back. Inhale, palms open. Exhale, palms down. And then walking your feet a little bit more open. The palms are going to open, inhale. You're going to exhale. Let the legs go over to your left, not a twist like windshield wipers. They're just going to the left. I'm pressing a little bit through the right hip. Be mindful of the knee. And if you want to take that right arm a little bit up at a diagonal, that can feel quite nice. If it doesn't, taking care of yourself, I understand that knee is supported, but if it feels like it's hanging out in space, taking care. Coming back through center. Pause here. Going to the other side, like windshield wipers. They're going over to the right. You are taking that left hand, that left arm, reaching. I tend to press a little bit through that left hip. And then coming all the way back. Let the knees knock in. Maybe give yourself a big hug. All the air out. And then as if you were pulling off a sweater. So using those arm bones, lengthening and walking my feet back to they are about hip width apart. And if it works for you, marching in place a little bit. We're going to extend one leg and then the other. Now you can keep the knees bent, modify to what works for you. I sometimes will just wiggle, seeing how things are feeling. All right, so from here, exhale, left leg goes up and right arm. So you're keeping the right leg in the earth and that left hand in the ground. Inhale, other way, opposite arm to leg. They don't have to touch. We're just moving them in their joints, keeping things soft If this feels at all constricting, going back and forth a few times, more noticing what happens. You have this great support from the earth and gravity. Maybe try it with a bent knee, a bent elbow. Warming up joints, seeing how this feels, back and forth. My exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, getting ready for a change, exhale, stay here and draw that knee in. So this is my left leg. I am circling around. So it's just one leg. I'm taking that right hand on top of that right top of the thigh, looking to press a bit in muscle, not joint. If you have a strap, absolutely using it. So coming in, I have now the hand on the top of the thigh and just sort of noticing, how does that feel opening a bit here? You want to go further? Is that an okay feeling? How, again, like before we saw with Happy Baby, can you keep the shoulders going down? The nourishing breath going in. If your head feels like it's jutting up, you could always have very small padding underneath the head to just even that out. Bring the leg just a little bit, few inches across the body. And then opening away from the other leg. I have, again, right hand, right top of the thigh, and then bringing that in. Once again, circling around. Bring both legs in. Circling around. Good, and just pause here. Bring your hands to your hips. Just the pelvis, forward and back, getting into the core a little bit, hip stability, back stability, finding a neutral spine. Good, we're gonna let one leg and then the other go down. Arms are overhead once again, opposite arm to leg. Inhale, exhale. I have left leg and right arm. Inhale, right leg, left arm. And now you can feel free. Flex the feet, make it soft. If you can, seeing that you're not wiggling in the hips. What needs to happen that you're not straining the neck, shifting too much in the hips. As you notice, I've picked up the pace a little bit. We're coming into the right side, or whichever side you have not done. And then just folding in the leg. A nice hug for the leg. Not to be surprised if one leg feels different than the other. In a regular class, just looking to see if we can work together, the whole body. So if one side feels extra tight, not quite as strong, making sure to not overdo it with flexibility and hammering away at strength on the other side, as I think I mentioned. Good. From here, go ahead. Seeing how this feels, sort of making sure this is even. If you bring the other hand on top, how does that work if you lengthen? Pause here. I feel like our brains can go so fast, but our bodies are still, they're older crafted, yes? 10,000 years in this copy, don't quote me. But, you know, give things a little bit of extra time to let tissues, ligaments, and joints catch up. Good. Coming down. Good, and coming up. Once you find what works for you, and if you do need a strap, or it's just better today to have one, we are bringing this leg over across your body just a bit. Maybe blowing out the mouth. Coming back, opening up a little bit out to the side. Coming all the way back in. We're bringing the other leg in. Let the legs open just a little bit, letting the shoulders sink back, close the eyes. Making space physically for yourself and hopefully in your life as well. We're going to bring the legs together. And so what happens if we're looking at Dandasana on the ground? So if you press the feet up, how does that feel? You could play with the big toes touching, spreading the toes, and then coming down. And then once again, how does that feel if you spread the legs open? Your back is nice and long on the ground. Good. And then bring your elbows by the ribs. Pick and choose what works. Exhale, push. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Just letting that fold in. I sometimes will cross at the ankles. The knees are open. And just bring that whole configuration in. And then just push away. Just massaging the back. Also still working with the little core. Coming in. And exhale. Other leg on top, coming in, and exhale. Good, coming all the way down. Take a pause here, and exhale, rolling on over to one side. So as you roll onto one side, I'm bringing, if you're rolling onto your left side, I'm bringing my head underneath, or my arm underneath my head, making sure you feel comfortable, other arm on top, and just maybe give a little stretch. How does that feel? If you don't need this extra support, you can just have your head on the ground. I find this supportive. Good, let it go. And then exhale, reach. Good, we're gonna roll on to the other side. So I am gonna say this way so you can see the back. So I come over once again, underneath, left hand on top, and reach. Coming back, and reach. Good, pause here. Using your hands and arms to help you sit up. We're going to make our way into the middle of the mat. Sitting back in child's pose. If you need padding between the thighs, the back of the thighs, and the calves, that's an option. You could start off simple and then work your way further down using a block or one fist on top of the other, or making your way all the way down Good. And then we are coming up. I'm going to stay on the heels, but you don't have to. You could go right to sitting cross-legged. So if you are here, seated on your heels, you might want to make sure your toes are going straight back. If they're not, no worries. You can bring the hands onto the thighs. Let's take the thumbs into the crease. Sit up a little bit tall. So just creating a little space. See how the head and the body is doing. All right. So from here, we're just moving camel. You're just moving back and forward, open. Exhale back. And really think of where your spine is. And maybe the head just comes along as an afterthought. But working with the openness of the spine. Open. And exhale. Good. From here, you are sitting up tall, and we're going to come right into cat-cow. So before we go into cat-cow, go ahead with the hands, just sort of massaging. If you need blocks, that's also an option too, under the hands for more support. You could take one hand, flipping it back, wiggle the fingers, going the other way, wiggle the fingers. So here we are in table position. You could take the toes in the ground. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. And exhale, round. Good, and then from here, you are in nice table once again, sitting back this time. Just letting yourself fall, feeling the back opening. Maybe walking the hands over to your left, letting the hips sink into the right. We're going to the other side, walking the hands over to the right, sit back in the left. And then coming all the way back up, we are on our hands and knees once again. And so from here, circling around, we saw this when we were on the ground, just circling, going the other way. Good. From here, turn your hips to the left, look to the left. Turn your hips to the right, look to the right. And again, looking to the left, hips to the left, and looking to the right. From here, toes in the ground, and you could go back. So now we are on puppy stretch. Nice opening with the front spine, top of the spine. Letting the head and neck be heavy. Good, and so from here, I'm gonna come forward. So you're coming forward with the wrists underneath the shoulders. My hips are a little bit lower than my shoulders. And then we're just coming back. That is one option. If you want to look at yogic push-up, you can. It's inhale, high arching cat. As I come through here, you can walk your knees back just a hair, bending the elbows a little bit or a lot. Inhale up and exhale back. The beauty of yogic push-up, You don't have to go very far. You're still going to gain some nice strength. Inhale, high arching cat. Hips a little lower than the shoulders. Exhale down. Inhale up. All the way back. We're going to go one more time. You can always feel free to skip it. Inhale. Rolling through like a wave. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale back. Bringing the arms by your side if that works for you. Coming to sit up. So once again, you can have the knees closer together, the toes, feet tracking back, sitting up tall. Good. Coming back into table, looking at bird dog into a lunge. So here we are. Once again, table. You're going to take the left leg back and the right arm. You are welcome to stay here. Press into the toes. Press into the fingers. And if it comes up, that's great. Good. I'm actually going to change this, I think. We're going to bring the arm down, and we're going to bring the leg out to the side. And bring it back. Bringing it all the way around to the side. We're going to get ready for gate. So you're going to plant the leg. I'm going to turn around so you can see. You can fold your mat over or use a blanket. But from here with that leg down, you're coming straight on up. If you notice, my toes are pointed towards you. And I'm just allowing the hips to settle. I am opening my arms wide, rotating arm bones forward and back a few times, getting into the fingers, and then reaching out over that leg. Let the head drop, and then come on open. So think first those nice long lines. This one's to keep going over, you can. Where's your breath? And I'm talking to myself. Inhale. Exhale. You can get so into how nice the stretch for me feels that I can forget to breathe. The same thing can happen maybe if you're not in a nice feeling. So it goes on both sides of the coin. All right, coming forward. So I'm just bringing that leg in and I'm just pedaling back. Just evening things out. We're going to go to the other side. So once again, in table, bird dog with the right leg going back. The left arm in front, starting with the middle finger in the ground, back toes in the ground. Give a little engagement. Get things engaged. And then if it wants to pop off, that's great. Or stay there. Chin in slightly. Good, bringing that arm down, leg, making sure, seeing what objects are there, going back. Good, going around, coming back. You can also make this lower or keep the toes on the ground. And then coming up, getting ready for gate on this side. So I'm just showing the front version. I've taken that extended leg out. I'm all the way up now. Sinking in. Inhale, exhale, opening the arms, maybe just circling the arms this time. We're going to reach out over the leg. Let the head go. Let the arm go, and then just expand. And then maybe keep going. Feel free to close the eyes and breathe. Good, and just coming all the way back up. And exhale into the heart, into yourself. Bringing that leg in, and then just pedaling, bicycling the legs a little bit. And then from here, I'm going to move into downward dog. So you can always make this child's pose. So my toes are in the ground. I'm reaching up. My first finger and thumb of each hand are really in the mat, rotating the arms so the elbows up a little higher, inner elbows. Head and neck are heavy, bicycling the heels. Maybe shake the head yes or no. Good, and we're just gonna come right on down through table. We're gonna go ahead and take the left leg forward. So the right leg behind you is going long. Having blocks under the hands is an option. Taking this right hand on the earth or the block, coming into a little bit of a twist. This may be your stopping point. You may bring that left arm up. Coming down, dropping that back knee. Maybe drop the back foot. And exhaling, going back, walking the front leg to meet the back. Pedaling the legs. Taking downward dog. The arms spreading the mat one way, the legs spreading the mat behind you. Exhale out the mouth. And then coming back onto the hands and knees. You are taking this right leg forward, framing it, making little cupcakes, engaging the fingers, or if you have blocks or support, maybe chin in slightly. Taking with this left hand, right hand on the thigh. Pause here, let your body and being and breath all working together. Taking this arm up. And then coming all the way down, dropping that back knee, dropping the foot, and just leaning the hips a little open and coming back. Taking the front leg to meet the back, and we're moving right back into downward dog. If you would like to take a vinyasa, walk the legs behind you. Hips are lower than the shoulders. Long posts of arms. Feel free to drop the knees or keep them straight. Coming on down, like we saw with the yogic push-up. This time, just baby cobra,
No weight in the hands. Coming down. If you'd like for a more full cobra, putting some weight in and down. And again, rocking through the spine. Feel the tops of the feet in the ground. And then rolling back. Again, child's pose, puppy stretch, downward dog.
Does it work to take this left leg, knee to knee, climb it up somehow? Drop it back down. We're just going to go ahead,
bring that knee in, or working it up towards a reclining pigeon. So if you want padding under that left hip, I keep my back toes engaged a little bit, opening that right leg, going back and forth. Inhaling and exhaling, and then coming forward. You don't have to go the whole way. You could have the forehead down. Good, and then coming out of that, feeling where it's comfortable, listening to cues your body and being is giving you of where you are at today, what feels nourishing and supportive. And it can make a difference depending on activity, but also stress level. Where muscles have been holding, tension's been building, even in ways you're not aware of until you get on the mat.
So coming back into downward dog. Bending the knees, little bit with the hips, going left and right. And then coming to stillness and seeing what it's like to pick up that right leg. And maybe it's just a little bit to have this 3-limbed downward dog. Maybe it comes up a little bit more. And then just bringing that knee in, getting comfortable. And again, going a little bit side to side. I'm using like the back toes, the back foot like a lever. I'm moving back. And then coming right on over. One fist on top of the other. Forehead down. Letting the jaw be heavy. Letting how things feel. And again, letting gravity and your body and the natural way things work just kind of work through there. Letting your mind come back to a more natural rhythm. Good, and then from here, we're gonna go ahead, keep going, lifting up, and then taking that front leg to meet the back. We are just pedaling the legs. Feel free to move back into child's pose, downward dog. We are walking the hands and feet together. And so if it works for you, if you have a block or you had a chair in front of you, something supportive, see how your feet are doing, front and back, side to side. Sinking into the legs, letting yourself be heavy. Maybe letting the arms go over to the left, letting the arms go over to the right. Coming back to center, one hand inside one elbow, other in the other, hanging over. Blow the air out the mouth. Full breath in and out. Letting the arms go and slowly rolling up. If coming up halfway, it's okay. You might just shake the arms. This can feel nice if your back feels like all right with it. Keep coming up. Hands are on the thighs. You are bringing one hand on the forehead, other hand on the back of the head, lifting all the way up. And in fact, bring your hands, interlace the fingers behind the head, and just maybe rest, if this is all right. Letting the head rest there for just a moment, and then picking the head so it is right where it needs to be with the spine. Bringing the arms down by your side, and bringing your hands into the heart. Thumbs at the heart center. Inhale here, exhale, inner thighs engage, pressing the palms together. Inhale, open. And a little bit of pressure. Inhale, open. And a little bit of pressure. Inner thighs, palms together. Good. Surya Namaskar, sun worship, coming to the front of your mat. So we've looked at lunge a few different ways and just finding what works for you. Inhale, open arms out to the side, all the way diving forward. Prepare the spine, hands on shins or toes, look up. You're going to be taking that right leg all the way back. Welcome to stay down here or bending both knees, coming into oak tree. If you'd like to wiggle that back leg out, coming into a standing lunge. Exhale all the way down, taking that front left leg all the way back. Incline plank. Exhale down. Inhale up, baby or more full cobra. Exhaling, going back. Child's pose, puppy stretch, or downward dog. Working the right leg up. Left leg is behind you. Hands are on the hips. Sink. Back heel is high. Chest a little lifted. And chin in. Go ahead, wiggle that back leg out if you'd like. This is appropriate. Pausing here. Exhale all the way down. Bringing that back leg in. Swan dive up. Back into the heart. Focusing just more on the breath as we go to the left. Inhale, open. Exhale, diving forward. Hands on shins or toes looking up. Left leg is going all the way back. Lunge of your choice. Maybe bringing the hands onto the thigh. Coming all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Front leg meets the back. Incline plank. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhaling all the way back. Downward dog. Left leg forward. Inhale. And exhale, bringing that back leg in. Swan dive up. Exhale into the heart.
feeling yourself tall and lifted in mountain pose. From Tadasana, let's open up wide. Open the arms out. We're going to go ahead and open this left leg open. Take the back toes in, and maybe we're looking at triangle. So if you just want to bring the toes in a little bit more, whatever your comfort is. And so we saw this with gate. Reach over, let the head drop, and then maybe keep going. Good, making sure you feel comfortable. We're going to come all the way back up. And then going to the other side. Hands at the heart. Bringing the toes and the hips along to that corner of that mat. Hands along, reaching out. And then going all the way over. And if you feel wobbly, see what wiggle room you have with it, taking care of yourself, but also ground in the legs. Your brain gets distracted, that's okay. Coming back to the breath, bringing yourself all the way back up. Bringing the hands in. We're going to open the feet a little bit wider. Turn the toes in slightly. Bring the hands on the hips. If you would like, interlace fingers, opening the chest, and then coming right on over as you feel comfortable. You can also keep the hands on the hips. Good, and just coming all the way back up. Letting the arms go. And I'm going to open my feet out long. You can keep them turned in. And just coming forward, enjoying this nice stretch and fan. You can have a block underneath of you. Good, we are walking the feet in. We are coming into squatted prayer. Not appropriate for you. You could sit cross-legged. I sometimes also will open up just a little bit here. Not in the knee, in the thigh muscle. Good, and if you are comfortable, you might try sitting back a bit more, bringing the hands in, and then when you're ready, coming all the way back down. Feet are out in front of you. We're just massaging the toes, the feet, the ankles, the calves. Opening like a little book, coming right on over. Coming all the way back to sit up. Bringing the legs together. And going back on your mat for Shavasana. So if you want to turn off any light or grab any props, please do so. So as you come back, you can go straight back. You could also go down by your side. Let's all bring the knees into the chest. We have been here before, I know. I like to take notice of revisiting asanas at one point in the class, at another point. You might notice you feel different. Now you can open the legs and just let your knees rest in. You could let your legs come right on down, having support under the knees, the head. If you feel too exposed, you might have your hands on your belly. And of course, the arms open is another option. As you are beginning to rest here, maybe find one area that you are noticing is tight. One area holding tension or gripping. And just bringing your attention there when you breathe. Maybe extra attention and or breath to that area. I'm going to sit up, but you please stay where you are. So if it works for you, imagining yourself in a beautiful, lush forest. Numerous kinds of greens of trees and foliage, plants and moss. Just the smell of extra oxygen in the soil. And your body and being, knowing you fit perfectly well on this earth with the beautiful plants and trees. Just this softening and the knowledge and awareness and feel at an organic cellular level that you can let stress, others' energies and baggage and thoughts, you can let them go. The earth will fertilize, use it for other means. Letting stress and tension out of the toes and feet and ankles. Stress and tension leaving the fullness of both legs. Through the hips and the pelvis, the the whole spine and back body finally able to have support to fully let your burden, let others' burdens down. Letting the shoulders and neck free up, and the arms, hands, and fingers let go. All organs and the front of the body softening, wringing out stress with each massaging breath. Moving into the face and the head and brain. This big sigh through the whole body. The more you let go, you won't float anywhere, you won't move anywhere. Allowing yourself to fully rest. Stay here as long as you'd like, but if you are ready, beginning to deepen the breath, wiggle the toes, rubbing the thumb across the fingertips, rolling on over to one side, using your hands and arms to help you sit up, bringing your hands to rest in your lap or at your heart. I'll end with the sound of Om. Feel free to join in or just listen. Inhale. Om. Shanti, Shanti Om. May we have peace, peace, and peace. As you feel ready, slowly opening the eyes, finding a point to focus on, bringing in the room, and namaste. Thank you for coming. Well, thank you again. If this is your first time joining me or you've been to other classes of mine, thank you. Again, if you have any questions or thoughts, shoot me an email, be in touch. Again, I can be found at my website or author's page, and I really do wish you the best with all that is happening. Love and peace. Be well.